An invasive insect from Asia that we were warned about last fall has finally made its way to Illinois. Here with the Dirt is horticulture educator with the University of Illinois Extension, Ryan Pancaw. Ryan, so glad to have you here. It's interesting because we've talked about this in the past, but now we have a little bit, I guess, of an announcement of sorts that this has been spotted here in Illinois. Tell me about the lanternfly.
Yeah, sure. We talked about this maybe last August as this was a potential invasive species we could see. But yeah, it showed up in Cook County back in September, and that was a major alarm call for a lot of us plant people. Oh no, it's here. Now we knew it was coming. It showed up in Pennsylvania around 2012. I think the first kind of wild population was around 2014, and it's been kind of marching eastward towards us. So we just wanted to kind of get the word out to alert folks. Hey, it's around. Obviously not in central Illinois yet.
Yes.
But we want folks to be on the lookout for this new invasive.
Absolutely. We're looking at pictures here. If people were to be on the lookout, maybe spotting if they're more north or if they're just anticipating it coming to central Illinois, what should they be looking for?
Well, it's interesting. This insect's preferred host plant, the thing that it likes to feed on the most is tree of heaven, which is another bad invasive. That's a really bad invasive plant. And so that's the place where I've been monitoring around central Illinois, is places where I know there's tree of heaven. I'm watching those plants for insect activity, or what these insects do is release excrement that's called honeydew that causes a sooty mold, so like a sooty kind of color on leaves of other plants and things below them. So that might be what you would notice with a larger infestation, but we can see the leaves of tree of heaven, you know, on the screen here. So it's kind of an interesting large compound leaf. There's a lot of great information online to identify tree of heaven, or you can contact your extension office to find it. But some other preferred hosts are willows, birch, red maple, silver maple. So some pretty common trees it will also feed on. One of its favorites is wild grapevine. And so where this insect becomes a big problem is in fruit production, obviously in vineyards. So it's not going to be a huge problem in the home landscape, but in those types of environments where you're trying to produce a really nice fruit, it's going to be a problem for growers. So that's why we want home gardeners to kind of be on the lookout and alert us, so we can monitor the movement of this pest and alert growers as to where it's at.
Absolutely. And if now we kind of know where to look, what it looks like is super interesting in your display you've brought versus the pictures. Let's talk about kind of the difference that we're seeing here.
Sure. Well, the little pinned insect I have, I kind of brought for scale so you can tell about how big it is a really pretty looking specimen. It has colorful wings, where what we're seeing in a lot of these other shots it's a leaf hopper is actually what it is. It looks kind of like a moth, but it's a leaf hopper. It has its leaves folded up, and so that's where you're really going to see it in nature a lot more, as this really kind of dull gray looking insect, but it's a little different than a lot of bugs that you see around central Illinois, so it should kind of stick out as something different.
Yeah, okay, and I'm curious to how something like this happens. It's kind of made its way from Asia, 2012, found in Pennsylvania. How does it travel like that?
Well, the main route for travel for this little guy is the eggs that it lays, and they will lay eggs on any smooth surface. So it's not just plants, it's cars and boats and trailers and train cars and things. So really it's human movement that's moving this insect around. And so that's why we are kind of trying to sound the alarm. It could pop up anywhere. If someone, you know, that parked at a rest stop in Pennsylvania drives to Illinois, probably need to be there a little longer than a rest stop.
So would it travel like on a suitcase from
well,
how does that work?
You know, it's got to be something outdoors that's exposed to a population of the insects where they can kind of find it and lay an egg mass on it. But that's how it's spreading.
Wow, so interesting. Now we know kind of where to look, what to look out for, and people can report it if they do find it.
Yeah, we have an email address, or if you can just contact your local extension office, we can help with identification and where to report that.
Perfect. All right, Ryan, thank you so much for filling us in today. If you would like to learn more about the spotted lanternfly and all the details, we'll connect you with all the information over on our website, CILiving.tv.